Do you have things?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're just,
All right.
well, no. Thing.
You have a thing?
A thing.
Okay.
So you didn't read my text.
It was, you wanted to talk about happiness?
Yeah, dude. I just want to talk about being happy. Just want to talk about how to stay happy.
Welcome to the 2A Gaycast, where today Nolan wants to talk about being happy.
I want to talk
I
about
apologize in advance, and if we didn't have enough unsubs on every single Procast that we did, today we're going to break a record.
Yeah.
What makes you happy, Nolan?
A lot of things, Jake, but I want...
Fuck.
I just wanted to take a little bit of time, make a little quick cast, a little spur of the moment kind of thing, and just talk
Fast cast?
fast cast, if you will, and talk about just how to stay happy and how to keep your head up in these trying and dark times, especially because
MDMA.
And that's the cast. So
That's it.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you.
Drop a bunch of Molly, and that's all we got.
You're good to go.
All right.
Maybe do some mushrooms.
We're out.
When the Second Amendment revolves around protection from a tyrannical government, self-protection, protection of home, family,
Crazy
ex-girlfriends,
right?
Cops that, murder a airman all of a sudden because he came to the door with a gun in his hand.
Fuck.
We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Today's a happy cast.
Today's a happy
A little
cast.
happy cast. Little happy trees.
Mm-hmm.
But, part of it revolves around prepping too and preparing for the worst. We're going to the range and we are training to be able to effectively and efficiently put down someone who is threatening our life or the lives of those around us or our family, or a potential Red Dawn scenario. You never know.
Yeah.
And that can be pretty heavy, especially when it's criticized, when it's demonized, and especially from the government, the media, an entire wing of the political party, a large group on social media, and you can just be really attacked from all different angles by people who, let's be honest, they're emotionally unstable and they full on fucking hate you.
Yeah.
And so I just want to talk about how to stay happy and how to not let that affect you and how to keep your head up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
I will. So the first thing first, and chime in if you have anything as well.
I'm pretty fucking miserable. So.
That's great.
All right.
So,
This podcast belongs to you.
You just don't say anything the entire time. I talk for 30 minutes just about how to be happy. And you're like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Now, if I could talk some shit, I'll chime right in, but
feel free to talk shit. Speaking of which, if you're not in the Discord server, the happiest place on earth, it's not Disneyland. It is the 2A Pro Discord server.
It is, yeah.
Get in there.
Yeah.
And be happy with us.
And be happy with us.
Be happy with us.
Or not be happy, depending on what channel you go into.
Yeah.
And the server will dictate whether or not you're happy.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I wanted to kind of focus on was internet fatigue, especially because most of the world kind of revolves in, I don't want to say most of the world, but a lot of interaction now involves inside of social media platforms, whether it's Instagram or Twitter or a lot of these different places. Guys, man, I know a lot of you are really good about it, but I know a lot of people, it can weigh on them. I've read a lot from friends. I've talked to people about it. What helps me? These people don't exist. Straight up. When they're saying crazy talk, 80% of the population can't critically think. It's not, just ignore them. They don't exist. They don't even matter to you. You wouldn't have any communication with these people if it wasn't for the possible massive mistake that is social media and the internet.
Yeah.
These people can berate you again and again and spout utter nonsense. Like I said in the last podcast, every village idiot now has the opportunity to get together with other village idiots and seem like they're smart.
Yeah.
Don't take it too much to heart when these people are fucking berating you with improper facts, just untruths, and just trying to gaslight you. Essentially, I don't like using the term gaslight, but
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah, it's because your girlfriend and all of our wives use it all the time. That's why.
That and the
They put-
connotation it has.
Well, it's are you gaslighting?
You're
Are you
gaslighting
fucking
me.
gaslighting me?
Gaslighting. And-
It's just any of these chicken heads that are on any of these fucking reality TV shows. Their favorite fucking words to say is just this gaslighting. Just everybody's gaslighting.
The politically left-leaning love that word, gaslighting.
Yeah,
And that's why I don't
exactly,
like
yeah.
to use it, but
Right.
they straight up are. Like, you can try and show these people, like, hey, an AR-15 is used in less crime, in less murders than fucking hammers.
Yeah.
And they will gaslight you. Dude, these people are fucking nuts.
Yeah,
and
they'll make you seem crazy.
they'll make you seem crazy.
Yeah.
You'll ask yourself, am I the bad guy?
Am I the fucking weird one here?
Just
Am I the odd man out?
you can put it down. Put it down. They don't exist. Just ignore them, block them, and move on.
But I would say that I would argue that what not to do in a scenario like that is if you have a business or own a business and social media or reviews for your products or your business is the way that you get customer feedback, that is actually, don't do that. Don't turn them off. Don't not listen. Don't not give them the time of day, because then you're essentially an ostrich putting your head in the sand saying,
That's true.
what these people say don't fucking matter. But the reality of it is that they are right. And it's not that the customer is always right. I find that to be, look, there's something really interesting about that statement. The customer
I've
is
got
always
something
right.
to say about that too.
The customer is always right when it comes to the color.
It's the rest of the quote.
That's the rest of the quote.
No, the customer is always right in matter of choice.
In matter of choice. And that's really what it boils down to. In matter of choice. In the choice of color.
Right.
In the choice of size.
Right.
Right. In the choice of So if they're like, I got this and I didn't like the color. All right, you're right. Yeah, you didn't like the color, right?
Yeah,
It is what it is. So we just got to be careful not to do that, because not that this has anything to do with what you're talking about, but
Right.
we do have to be careful with that, because the second you distinguish that, part of what we do here on the podcast is like try to give people sound business advice who are trying to, maybe also get into their own venture, and listening to your target market is your audience. And if you're going to do content
Very
marketing,
true.
incredibly important. If you've got a slew of people that are in your that are in your comments going, don't like this, don't do that again, you should probably just maybe not do that again, because these are all the people who have subscribed to you and they didn't like that you did that. Now, Nolan will have a different take on that probably, but but on the flip side of that coin, it's like,
No, it is important.
look,
It's
creating
incredibly
content is also like, you do what you want to do, right?
Right.
If you want to make a change in your content, if you want to start making new things, if you want to kind of deviate from the original plan and evolve from the things that you were doing, yeah, fucking good for you. And the ones that don't like it, they find somebody else that does it. For example, right? Donut does the officer,
the breakdown videos.
the breakdown videos, right? And if one day he decided, I'm not going to do breakdown videos anymore and I'm going to do something completely different and I'm going to stop doing those, that's his fucking choice.
Absolutely.
You should be allowed to do that.
100%.
Right? And
Yeah.
even if his entire subscriber base is like, this is bullshit, I'm going to unsub. All right, cool. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
doing this for me.
Right.
Right. So you should be allowed to do those things. You don't always have to operate within the bounds that your audience allows you to operate into. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to make.
absolutely.
But at the same time, if somebody was like, hey man, you missed the mark on that a little bit, sometimes it's good feedback.
Yes, you should.
Constructive
You
criticism.
shouldn't bury your head to good constructive criticism.
Good
Absolutely.
construction. But the comments that say gay,
Yeah.
fag,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, just let it roll off your back, dude, because like, who's going to really do that in public? This is a really good fucking example, right? Think about it in terms of real life. If it wouldn't happen in real life, then let it roll off your fucking back.
Right.
For example, if you perform a show on stage for however big of an audience that you may have, and you walk off that stage and you've got 5 people going, if the entire audience erupts, meaning you have 10,000 likes, but then there's 5 guys that you walk by that go, gay, fag, dumb,
Every single
hated
person walks up
You're
to
a
you and
douchebag.
tells
Yeah.
you a comment
Yeah.
on your performance.
Yeah.
But then, a couple of them come up and go, you're really dumb and I hate you.
which is the comment.
Unsubscribe. This is stupid.
Yeah. Would you let it impact you? Would you let it affect you? Or would that even really happen in real life? They wouldn't even do it because most people don't operate like that in real life. They do it under the veil of a keyboard and a screen where you can't see them or look them in the eye.
What's the quote? You give a man a mask and he will tell you the truth.
Yeah. So it was So I love I just going back real quick to the quote that we touched on, which is the customer is always right as long as it's a matter of choice. It's funny listening to and thinking about the full quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And so anybody that and I love this shit. I love this shit so much. This is not to feed the algorithm. I promise you guys. I really want to know now that there are people here listening to us, hopefully. If you know of any other ones,
everybody's listening. We're talking about
I know. If you guys know of any other quotes that are just completely and entirely and utterly fucking misused, please leave them down in the comments. I'm going to give you two more that I know of that are just my favorite. And it's blood is thicker than water. That quote is just absolutely raped.
Yes.
For lack of a better term. Because it actually means, we talked about that before, but it actually means the opposite. When people are like, well, I got to fucking take care of my family. Blood is thicker than water. No. So that's not
wrong.
It is stemmed, I believe, from it's a religious quote, which is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. That is the full quote. Blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Meaning a blood pact, a pact that you sign in blood, the blood of the covenant, the agreement, the matter of the choice that you make for people. For me to be your friend, right? I actively made a choice to allow you into my life.
Inside of you.
You made the active choice to allow me inside of you. And because we've made that choice, that is a covenant, that is a bond. And the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb because you fucking you don't have a choice. Like the mom's the mom, the brother's the brother. It is what it is.
Sometimes you get stuck with shitty siblings.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Happens.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't, and that's the other thing. If we're just here giving like practical life advice, it's something that I've made some really fucking hard decisions in my life where I've had to not associate myself with members of my family. If you guys may or may not know this already, but I was adopted when I was right around 6-7 years old. Came from, not so great upbringing. I did once I was adopted. Great family, great people, great parents. But I've had to make the choice later on in my life to, disconnect from a relationship with my biological mother, as hard as it is, right? Biological mother. It is absolutely 100% like devastating to me to have to do that. But for terms of like just me being on a better fucking, just because she is the woman who gave birth to me and I respect her and I wish her very, very well. It is more difficult for me to have to operate within the same bounds of disappointment that I always have to, right? So I just chose to separate myself from that situation. Everybody should fucking do that. You are not obligated. Because somebody is related to you by blood and they will not, I hate to use the word conform, but they're disrespecting you. They're slowing you down. They're hurting you in any way, shape or form. Abuse, all that crap. There's nothing saying like, well, he's my brother, so I've got it. No, it doesn't fucking work like that, dude.
No.
Should you give him an opportunity to be in your life if that time does come around? Of course, yeah, absolutely. If there was ever a time that it made sense for me to be, in my biological mom's life again, then absolutely, I would give it an opportunity. But dude, I'm not gonna force something just because you're related by blood.
Right.
I think it's from a mental health standpoint, I think it's fucking incredibly damaging. And I think it slows people down from doing the things that they really want to do. I think there's people probably listening right now that are going, yeah, I've got a relationship that is exactly like that I really need to get the fuck out of. And the only reason I'm in it is because they're family. Right. And dude, family sometimes it can be the death of you. It could literally be the death of you. Yeah. It will be the thing that just fucking brings you to your knees because it is so hard to say fucking no. But you have every right to be like, no. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've had friends with like abusive dads. And they're like, well, it's my dad. And I'm like, no, doesn't fucking matter.
Even more so.
Yeah.
Even more so. It's your father.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, your father of all people shouldn't be doing that shit to you.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, it should be.
Seriously.
It could be anybody else, but your father, that's not the guy that needs to be happening with. So yeah, that's strike 3 in the first strike as far as I'm concerned.
That's
so
right.
yeah. Then the other one is jack of all trades, master of none. Now we're talking about quotes, even though it shouldn't be. We're talking about habits. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
It's how does it go? It's jack of all trades, master of none, because it's better to be because I'd rather be better at some than none.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it. But
I know what you're getting at.
But what it actually means is the opposite, which is most people think that it means it's not good. Like, jack of all trades, master of none is kind of an insult.
Yeah.
But
he's a jack of all trades.
It's actually a benefit.
A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
Right.
So,
it means you know how to do a bunch of shit.
Right. You're expounding upon that. It's, maybe you can play a little piano, a little guitar, you got some computer skills. Maybe you're good up in front of people, but, you're not only good at hitting a piece of steel with a hammer.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Because you could be the expert at piano. I mean, you could just, you could tickle the ivory to the audience of millions of people, and they could just throw themselves at you. But in the end of the day, it's still not.
You can't make a fucking cup of coffee.
Still not going to get you laid. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, no, I've met people like this too.
Yep.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're like, wow, you are so good at this. And then you're like, hey, can you help me do this simple and ordinary task?
Oh, we all met people like
and they're
that.
like,
yeah.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. It's really anybody that graduates from like an Ivy League university. Be like, hey, go ahead and swing that fucking hammer over there for me.
Dude, yeah.
Hey,
can you move this ladder for me?
Dude, fuck.
Here, I'll put it against this fucking computer monitor, dude. Woo!
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about quotes, this isn't a misrepresented quote, but it's a quote that I carry with me, swinging back to happiness a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's from J.K. Rowling.
Okay.
Actually, little Harry Potter time.
A little Harry Potter quote.
I am a child inside.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I saw a grown man reading Harry Potter in an airport.
That was me.
Yeah, that's probably you.
It was probably me.
Was it? I think I was with you, and I pointed that out. I think we were going to Vegas for SHOT Show that one time.
I think we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, is that man reading Harry Potter?
That old man reading Harry Potter? And you were like, yeah, that's like a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
And then I told you I was reading Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, my 8-year-old daughter is currently reading Harry Potter as well. But the quote goes, it is my philosophy that worrying only makes you suffer twice.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And I've heard that.
Dude, it's such a powerful quote to kind of think back to. Because it is true. Like, worry has its place. Don't get me wrong. And, especially with what I said about people not existing on the internet, there's semantics to it, right? I'm an idiot, but, if you take it that at its core and, worrying's only going to make you suffer twice. If you're freaking out about a situation and you're stewing in your head and you're at home or you're at work and you're panicking, maybe your boss wants to talk to you. Maybe your girl wants to talk to you. Maybe you're running low on money for that month. Whatever it may be, freaking out about it is not going to change the situation. It can be a driver to achieve something that you need to, but it's only going to make you suffer more.
Pain is the fucking price to admission to change
right.
at any, in any relevant state. And so it's like when we'll sit here and we'll talk a bunch of poo about, bad things happen to you. Good. Right. Good. Like fucking Jocko. But the reality is, like, I have learned to subscribe to the fact that I know when something bad is happening to me now, that the outcome is going to produce such an event that will change me and the person that I am today. I don't look forward to bad things happening to me. That would just be a bit masochistic and, a little bit crazy. But I will say that, some pretty detrimental shit has happened to the company. It's just the nature of owning a business. Right. Things will happen. It looks like everything's going to fall apart. We just have to address it. I have yet to have something incredibly bad happen in the business, to me personally, to me familially, and not have some beautiful thing end up on the other side of it.
Right.
I fucking tell you every single time, nothing has ever happened. I mean, even down to the death in a family, right? And where what could possibly be the positive thing about a death in the family, where I have witnessed people that would not talk to each other, then reconnect, reconvene, build a relationship based on the fact that after that person died, they realized what we are doing is absolutely fucking ridiculous. We cannot carry this on any longer. We need to have a relationship with one another. And so a relationship was born out of it. And I could walk you through so many scenarios in my life where this is the case.
Mhm.
So for me, I love to worry. It's part of who I am. I love to like stew in things and figure out how I'm going to make it better and look for an alternative to fix the fucking problem. And I think worrying is just part of that for me, unfortunately. Again, it would be nice just to say, yes, it's just, it's not gonna solve a problem. But for me, it actually kind of does, because it causes me to think. It causes me to think of solutions. But regardless, I know that no matter what, out of this situation I'm going to be better off because of it. I always am.
Right.
Every time.
No,
Every fucking time.
yeah.
Like, I cannot think of one instance where I wasn't like, this terrible thing happened to me or happened,
Right.
not to me.
Right.
That's the other thing.
It happened.
It just fucking
It
happened.
happened.
Things aren't happening to me.
you.
And that was another, now that we're getting real deep right now, that was the other thing that kind of changed my outlook and my perspective on the way I've operated in this world, is that things are not happening to me. First of all, that's a very selfish way to
Exist. Yeah.
right? That this world is just doing things to me. Like, who the fuck do you think you are, man? Nothing is happening to you. The red light did not happen to you. The red light happened, right?
Yeah.
There's
very few circumstance where something malicious actually happens to you.
Exactly. Like your wife wasn't fucking sleeping with the gardener and the pool guy at the same time on a Tuesday afternoon when you were out in the garage fixing your, no, I'm just kidding. Oh my God, you're getting very specific. No, but I mean, these things aren't happening.
God damn you,
They're not
Armando.
happening. God damn you, Armando. I paid you well.
We were like brothers.
They're occurring. They're occurrences in the world. People are going to behave how they're going to behave, which is inherently usually selfish.
Yeah.
And it's an incredibly selfish thing to think that these things are actually happening to you. So as long as you could kind of take a step back, and that's kind of, it's borrowed from one of the tenets of Stoicism, where, look, these things are happening. How do I operate within the bounds of its existence?
Mhm.
I'm already here. It already happened. What can I learn from it?
Right.
What can I learn from the thing that's happened?
What's the lesson I'm being taught?
Yeah, what's the lesson I'm being taught? And some people will take a far more spiritual and religious approach to it, which is fine. But it's, this is a test. God is testing me. I've heard that quite a bit, right? And if you're not spiritual or you're not religious, and well, maybe spiritual but not religious, maybe it's just life is testing me.
Right.
This is just it's an opportunity for me to learn and grow. Going into these scenarios like that makes it easier to come out with a positive outcome, in my experience.
I read this. It was a meme. It was kind of a funny little jaunt, and it showed the quote of it was the point of it was, if you don't hear God talking to you, the teacher doesn't talk during the test. And if you're not religious, that's fine. I'm not really that religious either. I still think that's a powerful kind of message, right? When you when you feel like nothing's going right, when you feel like you're not getting the answers, when you feel like kind of alone, it's probably going through a test.
Yeah.
And you're going to come out on the other side. One door closes, another door opens. I was talking to Carly, my girlfriend, the other day, and she had some concerns about some stuff. And one thing that I've kind of started to adopt as kind of a mantra is, well, the only thing we can do is succeed.
Yeah.
The only thing we can do is get through it, right? Like, failure's not an option.
Yeah, failure's not an option.
It's not an option.
Get through it. Yeah, and that it's happened. It's happened to us here at this institution at Tacticon, where things will happen, and like, if you panic and if you give up, then you will fail.
Right.
I mean, that it really is. The truth of the matter is that you cannot fail if you just keep fucking going.
Yeah.
It's really not a failure. It's just a test, and it's a test. It's a stumble. It's a fall, but you can't actually fail until you quit.
Right.
That's the only time you fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a really, really positive way to think about everything.
Oh, it is.
It's such a good thing to think about. I'm telling you guys, like that, to those of you listening, it is a beautiful, beautiful mindset to have, that if you are attempting to do something, if you're attempting to rectify something with your spouse, if you're attempting to stop drinking, if you're attempting to start a business, whatever the fuck it is,
if you're attempting to start a business in the two-way space,
you cannot fail if you just don't stop. Seriously, if you just don't stop.
It's crazy that is the answer.
Yeah. Watch the most, like, one of the really cool that you and I were just talking about, like the roast of Tom Brady and like, you know, but I kind of went down the rabbit hole to learn a little bit more about him when I started learning a little bit more about who he was and how he got drafted, because they were taking jabs about the fact that he was 199th draft pick overall in the 6th round. And he somehow made it to be the greatest of all time. And one of the first things that he said to Roger Schwartz or whatever, the owner of the Patriots, was when he initially got drafted was, my name's Tom Brady and I'm the best decision you've ever made. And he was 199th fucking pick, and he was the second string, third string quarterback, whatever, under Drew Bledsoe at the time. And the dude came out after Bledsoe got fucking, you know, sacked by some big defensive fucking linebacker and, I don't know, broke some fucking ribs or some shit. That's when Brady came on and just thrived and continued to pursue a career in doing what he absolutely did at the time, which was, I'm just going to take what I have and do the best I fucking can with it. And it ended up being, for all intents and purposes, the greatest of fucking all time, based on the amount of Super Bowls the dude has actually won. And then when he left, they stopped winning Super Bowls. So go figure. What that means is
correlation and causation.
The dude runs like a fucking giraffe.
Yeah.
He's got fucking terrible fucking, he had terrible combine times from what I looked up. It was nowhere near anybody, any of the other guys in his field when it came to his athletic performance. Yet he somehow found a way to say, I don't give a shit. It's not going to make me stop.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I love seeing the rags to riches stories. I love seeing the fucking, you know, fat to fit stories. I love watching people who have come from like a hard knock life and an abusive background to become like amazing parents and amazing fathers. And dude, you can change you can break that fucking cycle if you don't quit, if you don't stop, right? Because it would be very easy for me, and I did this for a period of time, where I rolled myself into a fucking mold of, well, this is the hand I was dealt. I lived a hard knock fucking childhood. I didn't have any father for the first half of my adolescent life, and I could have just been a shitty father today, right? I could have used that as an excuse. And at first, when I first had kids, believe me, I did use it as an excuse, and I was not the best dad. You know, I would be at work or I would be drinking and I was fucking absent, and that's just the fucking facts, right? But through enough fucking self-reflection and really thinking about it and listening to enough men who had overcome those things, I realized that I can break this cycle. It doesn't have to be the same for my kids. It doesn't have to be the same moving forward. They don't have to tell the same story that I told. They could tell a different fucking story. You know, they can grow up and say my dad was amazing and then be shitty parents if they want to. I don't know. They could break the cycle again and go do the fucking thing. You know, but the goal is just don't fucking stop. Just don't quit. You know, that it's interesting. There's two, when you look at like the different special operations selections, the multiple special operations selections, the SEALs and special forces, right? Green Berets and Navy SEAL, they're very different. You know, special forces, the Green Berets, they identify themselves as quiet professionals. And SFAS, which is the selection for Green Berets, it's a gentleman's course. And they are respectful, and they're not running around fucking screaming at each other all the time. From the men that I have talked to that have gone through it, it was, at least back then, I don't know how it is now, but back then, the guys that I talked to that had been through selection, some made it, some didn't, but they failed out. They didn't fail out because they quit. They failed out genuinely because of lack of skill, right? And most of them failed out during the land nav portion, right? Land navigation, very difficult. Shoot azimuths, you're on your own. You got a map. You got to figure out where you're going. You got a limited time to do it. Yeah. SEALs, now any fucking SEAL that's listening is probably going to rip me up. Fuck you, it doesn't matter skill. From the research that I've done, it is you're good unless you quit.
Unless you quit.
You just can't fucking quit.
Just don't quit.
Just don't quit.
Just don't fucking
right?
quit.
And I've literally heard, and there's plenty of them on the internet. Navy
What are you
SEALs,
talking about? Every fucking Navy SEAL that's out processed to their YouTube channel says, just don't fucking quit.
They literally,
That's all they say.
All they say. They're like, how do I make it through buds? They're just don't fucking
Don't
quit.
fucking quit.
Don't quit. Don't ring the
quit.
bell.
Don't ring the fucking bell.
Yeah. And
That's all they want you to do. Don't do it.
don't do it. So but it's, it's like that with life too. I've yet to meet, look, the reason why we've never met a successful entrepreneur that is quit is because they wouldn't be where they are.
They wouldn't be where they are.
And they will all tell you the same thing. The
Yeah.
same thing that the fucking SEALs are telling you when they talk about buds are the same exact thing that anybody will tell you, from Jeff Bezos all the way down to your local fucking plumber. How did you make it to have a plumbing company with 25 employees and doing, $3 million a year? I just didn't stop.
I just kept going.
I kept going.
I just kept doing it.
When I got a $250,000 tax bill that I couldn't pay, I figured it out.
Yeah.
I figured it out.
I did more jobs.
I did more jobs. I worked harder. I worked longer. I worked smarter. I got more efficient, right?
Yeah.
And that is the fucking key. If you can't stop look, if you can't stop drinking and you have to go to a program to stop drinking, how are you going to? Now, of course, you have to quit drinking, right? That it's a little bit, it's a bit of a double entendre there, trying to say that, well, if you got to quit drinking, you just have to quit. For me, if you're going to stop doing that fucking behavior, if it got hard, and then I realized, which it does get hard, and you realize I need to keep, I just want another drink. Well, that's quitting. That's like, it's going to get hard. You have to deal with shit sober. You're going to have to deal with PTSD sober. You're going to have to deal with, life coming at you from 15 different ways, like it does for anybody that's walking the earth sober.
Yeah.
You have to understand that you have to feel the fucking feelings. And if you don't do that, like what was said to me from my counselor at the VA, it was like, I can't even treat you until you stop drinking. Like, cause like you have to feel the pain. The second you walk out of here and you go grab a bottle,
you numb it,
and it doesn't do anything. You've got to feel it. You got to go through it. It's called prolonged exposure is what they called it, the VA. And it's like the technical medical term, but you've got to feel these feelings. You've got to live through it again. We're going to walk through every shitty thing that's ever happened to you, and you've got to fucking feel it. And it is hard. It's fucking tough, but that is the point. And if I would have stopped going, if I would have quit going to fucking therapy, if I would have quitting drinking, then I wouldn't even fucking be here right now. I'd probably be dead by now, to be honest with you. Right? It's no matter what it is, if you don't fucking stop, you will succeed. And it's a good feeling knowing that you could start anything that you want to do today, no matter what it is. Being a good fucking husband, a better father, and just say, dude, I'm just not going to stop. I'm a shitty dad right now, but I'm not going to stop trying to be a better one.
Yeah.
Right?
Just a better fucking human being.
You can't be any fucking worse than you are right now if you actually try to be a better dad.
Right.
You can't be any worse than you are right now if you're already a shitty fucking husband.
Right.
Right? All you got to do is stop doing the things that you were doing and just hopefully fucking do better things that, add value to the people around you. And, life is good. Life is fucking good, but it's fucking hard. And if it wasn't fucking hard, everybody would do it.
It's very fucking hard. It's hard to be fucking motivated, and it's hard to be dedicated. I got this video that I just sent to Carly that I'll share with you guys, and I'll show you because it's fucking great.
Everyone says discipline is so important, but they never want to tell you why. I'll tell you why. It's the strongest form of self-love. It's ignoring something you want right now for something better later on. Discipline reveals the commitment you have to your dreams, especially on the days that you don't want to. The future you is depending on the current you to keep the promises that you made to yourself yesterday. That's today's words of wisdom. Why don't you watch that again?
It falls back to that, right? It just falls back to that. What do you want? And are you willing to get it?
I didn't know what I wanted for a long time.
It's hard, man.
Yeah, and that could be one of that's why journaling or meditation, sitting down in a quiet place and thinking is so important. That is why those things are so powerful, but the pill is so much easier to take.
Ooh.
You have anxiety? Take a Xanax.
Take a Xanax. You got ADHD? Take some Adderall.
Take some Adderall. Instead of doing the research like I've done, like I have ADHD really, really bad. And I've realized like I have to learn exactly. The fucking patterning out on the table, borderline fucking autism. Like I have to realize that if I'm going to live a life where I remain sober, then I have to understand. And by remaining sober, I'm not talking about drinking. I'm talking about not taking meth, amphetamines, essentially, which is amphetamines are in Ritalin, they're in Adderall. So if I don't want to take those drugs, I have to learn how to live with ADHD.
Right.
I have to want it, but I have to know that I want it. I have to identify that is a thing that is keeping me from doing the things that I want to do. And I have to learn how to channel it. But in order to do that, I had to take some self-reflection. I had to genuinely understand who I was, what I wanted. And I know it sounds kind of fluffy. I get it. But if you can't fix a problem that you don't know exists. You can't fix a problem that you can't identify. And there are so many quick fixes to things out there. They're the get rich quick and the fucking take a Xanax to the nobody's out there fucking pushing meditation. Well, people are out there pushing meditation as a benefit to mental health. But what I'm trying to say is pharmaceutical companies aren't out there going,
they never will.
Try meditation. Try getting quiet, try peace of mind, try listening to a certain type of music, try playing lighting up a certain scent in your office to help with your mental state, because those things are a slow, gradual roll. And in this world that we live in, we want that instant gratification. We want that right quick fix. And that's the fucking problem with social media. That's why everybody's getting so fucking depressed lately. You know what I mean? There's less. I'll give you guys a perfect example in the audience. We will sit here and pour heart and soul into doing what you and I are doing right now, which is talk about things that are difficult to talk to. It's not easy for me to talk about some of these things that happened to me in the past, nor is it you. And it takes a lot of time, not only to film this stuff, but it takes a lot of time to edit this stuff for you. It's a lot of work. Yet these get like 3,000 views. But I can make a video on, holding a sign up a fucking set of dildos and throwing them around, you know what I mean? Like dildo chucks and or magnifying a magnifier, that video that we did.
People eating food.
You want to magnify a fucking magnifier? Right? Here's what happens when I flip 3x magnifiers next to each other. Here's what I see. And it's a 30-second video because attention spans of a fucking gnat. And that video accomplishes nothing for anybody. It's not even entertaining. It didn't do anything. It doesn't even explain anything. There was a start and an ending. That's the only thing about that video. And it was me with 3 magnifiers lined up and a fucking red dot. And I was like, what happens when you magnify a magnifier? And I flipped three of them in front of each other. I was like, absolutely nothing. It doesn't do anything. And so exactly what you thought would happen, nothing fucking happens.
Nothing happens.
And so with that, 3-4 million views?
Hit like 3.5 million.
Yeah, 3.5 million fucking views on that piece of shit content. But you have something meaningful. Something with that could change somebody's life if they really took it to heart, because based on the experiences that we've had, and we're not talking out of our ass. And nobody listens. Nobody shares it. Nobody cares. That's the and I'm not bitching.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing what Ben Affleck did on the fucking Tom Brady roast, which is just go ape shit. That's the problem with social media. If you guys haven't seen the Tom Brady roast, go fucking watch it. And Ben Affleck just absolutely tanked the entire thing to the point where everybody was really funny. And when the next guy came up, I think it was Jeff Ross, was like, man, I really this is the only time I've ever wished we had commercial breaks, is what he said on Netflix. After that, motherfucker just
a breather. Right now.
Everybody needs a fucking breather from that bullshit right now. So the point that I'm getting at is there is, that device, social media, the quick fix, the quick hit, give me the information, give it to me now, instead of actually taking the time to really research it, feel it, live it. It is in effect a drug. It is in effect of, I don't want to feel the way I'm feeling right now, so I'm going to go watch other people, like you had mentioned a second ago, eat food.
Right.
I'm going to watch them eat food. Instead of going in my kitchen and making food, I'm going to watch this Asian chick eat 10 pounds of noodles and listen to her slurp them out of a bowl.
Dude, I can't stand it.
I can't either.
I can't stand it.
I can't. But I watch people watch those videos, dude.
Dude,
no, bad. I mean, really, that's my new thing. I like watching people watch other people eat food. that's the new,
and observe them.
That's actually that's the next evolution of where we're going.
Watching people watch stuff.
Dude, you don't even
No. It's already doing it.
It's already doing
it.
Video games.
Streamers.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. Like you can't even play. Look, video games are a waste of time enough, in my opinion. That's why I stopped doing it. I was completely counterproductive. I stopped playing fucking video games, drew a hard line because it was counterproductive to the things I needed to get done.
Right.
So it was hard for me, but I pulled the plug. Now you've got people they're not even playing video games. They're watching people play fucking video games.
Yeah.
Mind blowing, dude.
It's crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
Or you're watching people watch other videos and then comment on it.
That is happening.
I know.
That's a real thing.
I know. It's
like
reaction content.
I will watch a video sometimes and I'm like, why is there another guy in this video?
Yeah.
Why is there this person also? Why am I watching him react to this video?
Why is he watching the video?
You know what's
with
happening
me?
is like what the internet's telling us is you don't know how to feel about this.
So I'm going to tell you.
I'm going to show you how you should feel about this with my facial emotions, my laughs, my cries, my sighs, my confused look on my face. I'm going to tell you how to feel about the video that you're about to watch.
Comments. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you how to feel about the video that you're about to watch.
Guys,
fuck.
When was the last time that you went outside and just sat with maybe a pen and paper just by yourself? Maybe your dog.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
something happened. A lot's happening in our business right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of it is good. In fact, I probably should have spent the entire weekend working, but against my better judgment, which is always I say better judgment, but in fact, it could be worse judgment. I realized it's fucking Mother's Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got a ton of shit to do. I have two choices to make. I can go see my mom and relieve my wife from the burden of watching and hanging out with the kids because she just needs some of her time, which leads me to another point real quick. Do you find it funny that Mother's Day, since we've just kind of crossed over that threshold of Mother's Day, do you find it kind of funny, interesting even, that when it's Mother's Day, they don't want to, maybe this is not the experience for you guys out there, but when it's Mother's Day, the mom just wants relief from the kids. I want to do what I want to do today, get the kids out of my fucking way.
I want to be left alone.
But when it's Father's Day, it's Father's Day. You need to go hang out with the fucking kids. You see what I'm saying? It happens every Mother's Day and Father's Day. It's like Father's Day, you need to be with your children all day. Mother's Day, you need to be with your children all day.
So I am not a mother nor a father yet.
Not yet, yeah.
But I have seen this.
Yeah.
I have seen this. It is, we're going to give mommy her day. We're going to let mommy have her time.
Exactly.
We're just going to let mommy have a day.
Have a day, yeah.
But Father's Day, it's, okay, let's go be with daddy. We're going to spend Father's Day with daddy.
That's right. Yeah, it's an interesting scenario, but I digress. Mother's Day. I went to see my mom, took my adopted mom, took the kids with me and had a great time, came back and just spent the day. I actually just spent it with my son, my 2-year-old son, all day. It was really fucking amazing what happens when, and I can't begin to tell you like how powerful it is for a kid. Cause I remember when I was a child, my parents worked a lot, whatever. And I had a decent life. Right. But you could probably count on one hand or maybe not everybody, but when an adult spends quality time with you, sits down, everything's off, TV's off, phone's off, everything's
and
off. It's just you and me. It's you and me, bud. Whatever you want to do. You want to draw? That's it. World's off. You and me. It is so meaningful for a kid. And I know that because when I was a kid, my Aunt Jackie came and she just showed up one day and she was like, today's a day for you and me. And I was like, what?
Dude.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
She had this little wood burning kit that she brought and we played like on this wood burning kit. And it was just this one fucking day. And I remember that for the rest of my life. I was probably like 7 or 8 years old at the time. It was a really, really meaningful day for me.
Yeah. And you'd probably be like, you remember that time that you came and with the wood burning kit? She'd be like, I don't know. Maybe.
I know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was a fun time. And
these are the meaningful moments that like change the course of children's lives. And if you're a parent out there and you're anything like me, where you've kind of like, yeah, as long as I put food over, if I put food over your head and a house on and a roof on the table, is where I was going with that.
Best roof I've ever ate.
Best roof I've ever ate. If that's the mentality, it may not be the right one. And I'm slowly starting to realize that, man. It was a really, really good day that I had with my son.
Mhm.
It was just him and me. No matter what, I just focused on him, stayed off my fucking phone, stayed off of, the TV. I wasn't paying attention to anything but him, and I had a really good time. I don't know why I'm sharing that. I just thought, it made me happy. It was fulfilling. That fulfilled feeling that you get, there was so many things that were left undone from work,
Mhm.
all the things that I needed to get done from work.
Mhm.
I didn't even care. It was all fucking worth it.
But
every second of it was worth it.
But that plays perfectly into this happy cast that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is that fulfilling thing. Sometimes it's taking the things that whether A, you're stressing about it, or B, might need to get done, and just going in a somewhat selfish, but altogether better plan for yourself and for your well-being of, no, I'm going to do something that is going to be fulfilling and meaningful.
Right.
Right? It is that like, I'm just going to spend this day with you, with a little ruckus, or your lady, or your buddy, right? Not just fucking off, but like a legitimate connection with a human being, your children, your significant other.
Did we notice that? Have you ever noticed that when you get done doing a thing for somebody else, it feels pretty fucking amazing?
Oh,
I don't think I have ever got done helping another human and not felt good. It doesn't matter what it is.
Helping my buddies move.
Yeah. Driving somebody to the airport.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, let's talk about that,
Yeah,
Jake.
no. I mean, but even then, but even doing that thing, going to SFO to pick my buddy up from the fucking airport, but I still felt good.
Like I
was irritated all the way down there doing it, but by the time I got back, I thought, okay, cool. I'm glad I was able to get that done for him. You know what I mean? It fills your cup. Selfless acts will always fill your cup. If everything else fails, if you look around for something to help, for somebody to help, and just do something for them, it's impactful, man. I mean, it really does change the state, because what it does is it kind of gets you out of your own self. It gets you out of from wallowing around in your own self-pity and your own thoughts. And it has you, it automatically starts building a connection with somebody else through the actions of getting your fucking feet moving and doing the thing that you need to do for somebody else. It's hard to feel bad for yourself when you need to help somebody who needs it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's tough, So it's usually, for me, it kind of saves the day for me.
Yeah.
Right. And I know that is begrudgingly, as begrudging as I may be when I go into that act of service for somebody, whether it be my wife or my kids or somebody I know. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this. Inevitably, 100% of the time,
you feel better.
I feel better when I get done.
Yeah. Every single time.
Yeah. I don't ever walk, we were coming back from, when I came back from England, we'd stopped at like fucking McDonald's or something. We get through the drive-through and they're like, you got to go around and park. The food's not ready, and my wife's not happy, and she's like, "Why don't they have food ready?" And like, it's 3 more minutes, and we'll have somebody has killed a cow and then put it into a patty and then cooked it and then cut up the fries and then fried the fries, and in 3 minutes we could have all that.
Right.
We just gotta wait. Pretty good life. Good life.
Not bad.
So
not bad.
So when you think about it like that, you know what I mean? Didn't have to kill the cow. Didn't have to.
I didn't have to slaughter a cow.
Yeah, I didn't have to slaughter the cow. So we park. I go in, I get the food, and as I'm coming out, I was approached by an individual who said, "Hey, man, can you buy me some food?" Right.
Not just asking for drug money.
Right.
Yeah.
And I immediately went into my wallet, and I was like, and I turned to him and I said, "I don't have any cash." And then I thought, but I can walk in there and buy you a Big Mac. Right.
Yeah.
And so there's not a whole lot more to this story other than walked in, dude got a Big Mac, said thank you, went down and, sat down and waited for his fucking food. And then we left. But I can tell you that after a full day of traveling back from England, as irritated as I fucking was, and like, I just wasn't in a good space, buying a man a Big Mac changed the whole fucking trip for me. It changed my whole day. It changed all the time in the car and a plane. I mean, it just
Felt good.
It reset. It felt amazing.
Yeah.
Right. And all I did was just buy a guy a Big Mac.
Yeah.
And he was clearly not underfed.
What,
He was a very, very large man.
Yes.
I was like, you're well fed. You probably do this all the time. Ask for a lot of Big Macs. I totally understood.
You're a big man for a Big Mac.
And the same goes with donating. Like if you give money to somebody that fucking needs it on the side of the road, it is imperative that once you give that human being your money, if they say they're going to buy food with it, if they say they're going to buy whatever, even if they're not, it doesn't matter. What they choose to do with that thing after you gave them that thing.
9 times out of 10, they're buying drugs.
Yeah, that's it. But it's their fucking business.
It's their business.
It's their business.
If you decide to give them that money,
yeah,
it's their business.
Yeah, because I used to do it and be like, and I used to do something nice like that and then worry about it for the next 30 minutes. I wonder what that motherfucker's doing. I probably should have just bought him the food. I should have just gone into the gas station, got him the food. That way I know what he got with the money. Dude, it's not your fucking money anymore. It's not your money to begin with.
No.
You know what I mean? And religious people will tell you, it was never your money. It's fucking God's money. And I know it sounds kind of crazy, but like if you think about it like that, it's not your money. It's not anybody's money. Money's not even a fucking thing. It's fiat currency. It doesn't mean anything.
It's the government's money.
It's the government's money if you think about
They're
it.
going to tax it from you anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting kind of deep here, but
That's the point of this happy cast.
That's the point. It's a happy
It's happy cast.
Yeah.
Well, that's really all I got.
Well, it's not all I got. I actually have one more thing that makes me really happy.
Lay it on.
I have to go get it.
Uh-oh.
It's something that makes me really, really, really happy. And just hang tight. You're going to have to hang tight, but we're going to cut this, so it'll just jump right back me into getting back. Yep. First things first, I'm the realist. I definitely wanted to share this. So I was looking for a card for my wife for Mother's Day. And I don't know if you know this, but Indian people, my wife is Indian, she's Punjabi, and they're grossly underrepresented in the Hallmark section. So I'll put these
Punjabi Mother's Day cards.
Punjabi Mother's Day cards. I mean, they're very hard to find.
Come on, Hallmark.
So
step up your game.
I did the best I could. And if you guys are watching this right now, grossly underrepresented in the Hallmark category, but I did find something for my wife that I found to be very meaningful.
Mm.
And so if you could see the screen right now, you really got to see the screen. Here's a photo of the card that I found.
Okay,
which,
please no.
Yeah, had a lovely poem. It is to love a black woman was the it's for my wife to love a black woman. I had to cross it out and I wrote Indian. She did not think this was nearly as meaningful as I did. So but if you listen to the words in the poem of this card, it's actually the words in the poem. They go kind of hand in hand with like what I would expect it to say if it were directed towards an Indian woman.
Oh,
so to love a black woman, cross it out, put Indian. It says to love an Indian woman is to love a woman who knows how to live, love, and laugh to the fullest, and yada, yada, yada. To love a black Indian woman is to love a woman who understands balance, dignity, and grace, independence, and compassion. And so I've crossed out every black and put Indian, and she did not think that was as funny as I did. Nor did she find it funny that I sent that to her entire family and said, look what I got your daughter for Mother's Day.
That's so bad. I mean, that poem in itself is bad.
Yeah. So I did what I could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just a douchebag.
I'm just a man.
I'm just a man.
It's probably a douchebag.
Just a teenage dirtbag, baby.
I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby.
All right, now that I'm back,
okay.
I wanted to show you what makes me happy, and this, my friend, is a bag of
phallic objects.
Yeah, it's a bag of dicks, a whole bag of them. Listen, there are creators out there like
How'd they get scale size?
I know. How did you know?
You know?
These are all different sizes. Do you see?
Oh.
Yeah, this penis is longer than that one. This one is longer than that one. This one's shorter, stubbier. This is the big one.
That's the big kahuna.
And that's the big kahuna. There's many of them here.
So like we could get them all in. Oh God, I'm going to have to.
You see, this is like the second. Yeah, and this is the biggest one right up here in the front. Now, you've got like creators out there. You got guys like Grantham, guys like Demolition Ranch, Matt Carricker, Brandon Herrera.
Are you guys getting bags of dicks?
I don't think so. I mean, these guys are getting like, hey, I sent you this gun, or I sent you 8,000 rounds of ammo for you
Loser.
to shoot at your range. Yeah. Losers.
Why don't you get it back, dicks?
Read it and weep, dude. I mean, bet you don't get this every day. We've got mini phallic objects and
Let's put them all on Danny's desk.
yeah, and a letter. And I'm not sure why, but he put a stamp in here. Probably
Just in case
I wanted to write him back.
Or send back the penises, perhaps?
Yeah, possibly. And it's a long letter. Yeah. But he did ask us a question. I will be awaiting a response, and I will leave you with another question. If you were trapped in a room with 1,000 dicks, how many would you choke on?
I don't choke.
I never choke on.
Is that the correct response?
I have no gag reflex. Choke on 0. I'd have 1,000 dicks down my throat.
After my time in the army,
If you've gone through what I went through in the military,
you wouldn't have a gag.
I have. Here, joke's on you, man, because I have been trapped in a room with 1,000 dicks, and it was called the U.S. Army. So, I guess
I need to get these out so I can
unblur the here, put them in the bag. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
And with that,
I'm so happy you brought that.
Okay.
I'm so happy you did that.
I just thought we'd share just, how amazing it is to.
It brings me happiness on this happy cast.
Yeah. Brings a tear to my eye and a twitch to my cock.
Just a little pulse.
A little pulse.
A
little throb.
So get out there, guys. Spend some time alone.
Yeah.
Spend some time with your dog, your family, your friends, your loved ones.
As Mother Teresa so beautifully put it, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. And with that,
We bid thee.
Aquav.